Quick, which type of whale has teeth, sperm or blue? You don't know? Then you should read Moby Dick by Herman Melville. And one question before we get to the review. Did I enjoy this read? And the answer is yes. Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey and Literature. I'm your host, Captain Mike, and I'm reading and reviewing 52 books in 52 weeks in 2023. This is my 45th book review of the year so far, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. And before we get to the book, let's talk about Mr. Melville. Herman Melville, American novelist, short story author, and poet. He was born in 1819. He died in 1891. Moby Dick is his most well-known work, and it was not well received when it was first published. In fact, he died pretty much an unknown author. Okay, brief specs and stats of Moby Dick. Initially published in 1851, it was actually out of print when Herman Melville died. I have to say, my copy of Moby Dick, it's almost one of those self-printed books. I ordered a bunch of books in a row last year. I bought 50 some books like in a 2-week time span, and so I bought a bunch of cheap ones off Amazon. And this one, I swear someone just printed it in their basement and sent it to me. My copy does have 329 very large pages. I listened to a portion of this on Audible, and it's narrated for 21 hours, 11 minutes by Frank Muller. I do think Moby Dick is one of those books you can almost always find at a used bookstore. Let's talk briefly about the style of Moby Dick. It is narrated by Ishmael. There is storytelling, we have sermons given, we have an almost point-by-point description of how to hunt, catch, and process a whale. And not only that, but why we would hunt one whale over another whale. Some of the themes include race, social class, God, or the existence thereof. How about obsession? Is that a theme? And how it could destroy us and those around us. Stylistically, Moby Dick is influenced by the Bible and Shakespeare. We have lists, poems, songs, and pontifications. A brief word about 3 of the main characters of the book. First, we have Ishmael, and he is the narrator and the least interesting character in the book. He goes to Massachusetts with the idea of going whaling. He is introduced to Queequeg when they are forced to sleep in the bed together because there is no more room at the inn. They meet Captain Ahab of the Pequod after they sign up to go whaling with him. Captain Ahab has been described, quote, as a ungodly, godlike man. Ahab wants to catch and kill whales, but especially and obsessively one whale in particular, Moby Dick, who bit off his lower leg in his previous whaling journey. And we're going to go through the entire plot of Moby Dick in like 3 sentences. Ishmael and Queequeg set sail with the rest of the crew to go whaling, but they are told eventually by Captain Ahab that they are going whaling, but they're going in hunting for one whale in particular, Moby Dick. It seems to me, and I would imagine to you, that the idea that an early 1800s whaling vessel could go and circumnavigate the globe in search of one particular whale is ridiculous. However, we do learn that it is not an absurd notion due to the fact that the whales stick to certain routes that they travel and certain feeding and mating grounds. As Moby Dick is an easily identifiable specimen, using information gleaned from gams talking to other whaling ships, they are indeed able to locate and stick a stick in Moby Dick. And that's it for my discussion about the plot of Moby Dick. On to my thoughts of the book. And first of all, what is Moby Dick? The book, not the fish. Is it a novel, a textbook, a revenge story, a tragedy, or a cautionary tale? My vote, it's all of the above. I have a coworker, and I was telling him about the books that I'm reading this year, and I had Moby Dick coming up, and he just groaned and said, that is the worst book he has ever tried to read. And you know what? I don't blame him. I'm not certain that I would have made it through this book had I not had this obsessive goal of my own to read 52 books in 52 weeks. Maybe, maybe not. The underlying story, Ahab's desire for revenge, it is a great, fantastic tale. The individual characters, they're painted in living detail. I think this book had suspense in it. I was definitely waiting to know what was going to happen next. I really wanted to see how far would Ahab's madness take the Pequod and those on it. And you know, I'm enough of a nerd that I appreciate some details of the day-to-day going-ons on a whaling vessel. But come on, man. It is crazy excessive in this book. I was interested enough, I actually went and watched some YouTubes on the differences in whales as they were talking about the different whales. I wanted to be able to visualize this better, and I watched some YouTubes on the differences of whales because I think it's pretty cool. But do I actually need details on the different types of rope that they have available? How they wind the ropes so that the harpoons don't tangle the ropes. And I say that, and actually I think it is important because things do happen while the harpoons are going and people do get tangled in the rope. So I get while they're telling this, but we have whole chapters on the kinds of rope that are out there. It's probably more important these days than when the book was actually written that we have these descriptions, because to my mind, a 19th century wooden ship going out into the ocean in search of whales to hunt, catch, kill, and process on the ship an entire whale, it just boggles my mind. If you pick up this book intending to read a great story, a great epic about Ahab and the crew and his obsession with going and killing Moby Dick, you're gonna get that. It's on there, but you have to slog through all these details about ropes and you know how Queequeg is standing on the whale as they're flipping it and he's cutting it in this precise manner. I mean, some of that details is interesting, but man, it is so much. I can understand why people do not make it through Moby Dick. On the bright side, if you're a major nerd, it's great. I actually thought earlier in this year that I had read Moby Dick, but nope. First time reader right here of this story. And can I recommend this book? Well, you know, I don't know anyone that I know who I would say, I think you should read Moby Dick, who would actually finish this book. Again, I'm reading 52 books in 52 weeks in 2023, including the list of the 50 greatest books of all time as determined by an algorithm. Moby Dick is number 6. It's the 6th greatest book of all time as determined by an algorithm. Do I think it deserves to be on the list? I do. Is it number 6? I don't think so. But should it be on the list? I do believe so. Okay, guys, time for the star rating, and I judge all books on 5 criteria, 6 if I listen to it on Audible, and let's go. Initial response, how do I feel as soon as I finish the book? And I gave it a 3. Recommendation, how likely am I to recommend this book? I would recommend it, but not to anyone that I know. I gave it a 3. Style, did I enjoy the writing style? I gave it a 4. Plot structure, how engaged was I in the story? It got a 3. Characters, were they relatable, believable, engaging? I gave it a 5. There were great characters in this novel. And Audible, for those stories I listened to on Audible, how is the production? And I think Frank Muller is an awesome narrator. I love that guy. He's done some great books that I've listened to through the years. It got a 5 for Audible. Okay, that's 23. And 23 divided by 6 is 3.83. 3.83 stars for Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I think that's a pretty good score for this book. All right, my guys, if you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe to see more of my content. Again, reading and reviewing 52 books this year. Links to those are in the description below. I will put them in there as I finish those reviews this year. Today's the 29th, so I got 2 days left and I have 3 more book reviews I need to do. So you're gonna see boom, boom, those reviews dropping here in the channel as best I can before the end of the year. I'm definitely going to have the reading done. I only have one book left and I'm about halfway through that one. So, and that's it, my guys. You know what to do. I hope you're reading something good and drinking something great. Turn the pages, my friends, and stay thirsty. Cheers.